Thank you very much, Craig, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to self-indulge a little bit because I think it's worthy of mentioning a few people before we get into the formalities. First of all, in anticipation of the award winners, let me say congratulations to those guys who have thoroughly deserved them in a tough competition and a tough year. First of all, let me say congratulations to Mark and Stephen in their new positions. Well done to the support of the department heads, and I think it's worthy of mentioning Andrew, Jason, Jay, AB, Martin, and I'm just trying to think of the other one now. I can't remember it anyway. I'll get it in a minute. Assistant coaches, certainly led by Rob Wiley. Fitness led by David Butterfin. To all the support staff, thank you so very much. I think the most fundamental thing about any big organisation is if things aren't going according to plan, there can be a fifth column poking you in the back, moving you sideways, tugging at you to make sure that they're not forgotten. I've got to say that this football club, under duress this year, and let's face it, 7.5 is not what we want, stuck very, very solid. The staff were outstanding. The players were just terrific in their approach to trying to get the best out of one another and to go forward. So, and these are the other ones who count so much in my view, and that is the partners, family and partners of the players. We see one side of the football club, unmoved, don't moan too much, find disappointment, but manage to control it. And I know, personally, when you go home and you're that disappointed, there is always someone that you have to lean on or take it out on. And inevitably, it's the ones that are closest to you. So thank you so very much for those partners of the understanding. We also say about the players, I think it's been a year of growth. We can look at it any way we want to, and I suppose as people from outside will look at it differently than what we do. We had high aspirations, probably in many respects unrealistic. I guess as a football coach, you want to win every game of football. I was acutely aware, and let me just say this for a start off, I'm not here to offer excuses, never will, never have. The only way forward is to look and find reasons. But we had 20 plus players that had interrupted pre-seasons for one reason or another. I've seen players level off at that. I've never seen them get better from having not being able to have a pre-season. So most of those players were dragging their backsides along the ground for quite a considerable time, but they hung in there. And as we got them back, we'd lose someone else. But the great thing about it was our recruitment of 11 players last year, 8 players, and Mark's already mentioned this, 8 players performed at a level that we thought was worthy of going to our senior side. 3 from other clubs. We had an international, we had rookies elevated, and we had our draftees play. It's an unbelievable performance to have 8. All those boys got a game on the back of good form. Yes, they were replacing some that may have been injured, but they got in there because of good form. I was asked before, out the front, what can we expect next year? I said, well, and one of the questions was, who's going to be the best performer of next year? Well, we don't know who we're going to recruit. We are in the market to recruit, and going forward, we want this football club to lay a solid foundation so we can go forward. And I don't want to embarrass this player because there's a number of young kids I could have picked out and said, I can see someone going forward. But if I didn't say this name, it'd be totally remiss of how we've missed him. The recruit of the year, I believe, is going to be Matthew Cruiser because we didn't have him. And I just know the way he went about his work last year of trying to get the boys up, being there all the time, totally disappointed in not being able to get out on the ground. Just when he looked like getting the senior game, he got ill. So he had one of those bad years. But I can say that on evidence so far, we've got a great recruit coming through. From round 17 last year, or this season, we're in a position where we knew that we couldn't make it. And we played every side that had a greater appetite for the reason to win. One, either to cement a top 4, top 8, or get into the top 8. Our boys battled against those sides in a highly professional and a fantastic manner. And I've got to say to you, Mark Murphy, and your leadership group, you are the main instigators and you ran that so beautifully. It wasn't easy to go down the race and know we weren't in the 8. It was very, very difficult to engender real team spirit against a side that was fighting for something a bit different that we, unfortunately, couldn't obtain. But you'd never lose sight of the fact that we played for our supporters, the people that went every week, week in, week out, supported us, stuck to us, and we want you there next year, on board. The positives, no doubt our growth and our leadership. The positives, no doubt when troops went down, others stepped in and have a taste. You put yourself in a position where a young player plays before 40 or 50,000 people, and the previous week he played before 400 to 500. You say to him, what would you rather do? And by giving these players that taste, we know the response we're going to get over pre-season. I've already seen a lot of players come through the door. We're not supposed to, and we certainly won't be pushing players through at this time of the year because it's up to them. But the number of players that have come through, it's so encouraging. And you should be so very, very proud of this group. I know I am. I know what they went through. I know how hard it was and how hard they fought. And I know how disappointed they were. But I'm a great believer in looking forward, not necessarily looking back. We offer no excuses, as I said, but we've dissected our year and we believe that we've got the opportunity now to look at areas that we have to improve upon. The player group are very, very willing. My coaches are very willing. I can't say how excited I am about the prospect of this football club going back and challenging for one of those 8 positions next year, and who knows where we go from there. But you can rest assured there'll be no stone left unturned, and whilst we've got that leadership and while we've got the courage of some of these players, or all these players, we are delighted to say that our program started 7 weeks ago, and we'll enter 2015 with a fair amount of optimism, knowing that we can challenge the best sides. What we have to do is tidy up a little bit, recruit for the future, go forward for the future. The 11 games that were done and we lost by under 15 points, it's not bad luck. We just have to improve upon it. And that is the hard part, because everyone else wants to. I can rest assured that there'll be, as I said, no stone left unturned. And with the leadership of Mark and Stephen, I think we can look forward to an enormous amount of optimism. Hope you enjoy the evening, and thank you very much.